Hi, hello, good afternoon. My name is Bosko Popovic. I'm a holistic health coach and I work with my clients to be the best that they can be. So, what it means, I work on all aspects of their psychological and the physiological well being, which is mind and body connection. As an integral part of what I do, there is something that you all have heard about and probably read about a lot, have seen probably movies, posts, read books, and probably seen a lot of posts being put on the social media. And it's something that's really important to every one of us. In fact, for everything in this particular sort of domain that we're in. And what I'm talking about specifically is consciousness. Now, there are many theories about what it is. I'm not going to go into the detailed sort of theoretical explanations of what a consciousness is. However, I will try to simplify it and say that it's basically an intelligence that is everything that we can see, perceive, be part of, and who we are. And it is the actual ultimate objective of life, or our being here is to get in contact and touch with that particular consciousness from within ourselves in order to be truly the best that we can be and to experience the ultimate elation of being in this particular, I would say, this dwelling or something. I don't know what term to use in it, to be perfectly honest. So, in my opinion, what is really the best thing to do to kind of get to the point of where you can reach this particular unity with yourself, which is the unity with everything there is. And that is being present in the moment, which is live in now. Now, I know that this is a subject that has been talked about, particularly people who are going for yoga, tai chi, meditation, and so on and so forth. And for the right reason. However, what we need to be very kind of like aware of is that even the most experienced so-called masters of those arts such as yoga, meditation or what have you, even they cannot be in the particular mode of being in present moment for very long periods of time. And here we're talking about probably seconds. And the reason for that is because we are overly externalized. And what I mean with being externalized is that through our sensory sort of information processing abilities, such as smell, touch, feel, hear, we choose, not particularly because we want to do that, it's because we are actually programmed to do that, which is a big difference. We choose to be open to those stimuluses that are coming outside ourselves. But once you start dwelling into the real world of what consciousness is, which is overall intelligence that comes from within your own self, you then start to realize that everything outside yourself is a very clever illusion. And all that has already been scientifically proven by the models in the quantum physics, which basically states that beyond atoms and even beyond subatomic structure, there's literally nothing. And what nothing is pure electricity. Which means that the world that we perceive as being solid is in fact not really there. And the reason why my hand, for instance, cannot go through this object here, or cannot go through my own face, is because everything is being so cleverly put together that even from within my own self, my own sort of a molecular structure has a different electrical discharge. And as it has a different electrical discharge, what it does, it basically repels itself. And the best example to use is like two magnets. They either attract or they repel from one another. And that is exactly how we are built. Molecularly, we are bonded, hence we have a form. However, you cannot go through that form outside of that particular electrical charge that already has formed its own consciousness from within the overall consciousness. As that is the case, the real beauty of life comes in when you go start peeling in. And we are like those, how can I say, onions. You know, like you take an onion and you start pulling different layers of it. And so is the consciousness. It has infinite layers from within itself. But the true beauty of it comes right deep, or in its so-called elusive center of itself, which in fact, because it is non-existent, right? It doesn't have any position anywhere. I'm not filing now to the world of science, which I shouldn't. But nevertheless, the beauty of it all is in the center, so-called center. But what is the center? For us, the center is right in ourselves. And if you really want to live the lives that we want to live, you really have to make an effort, and I really mean it, to do everything you can to go inside yourself. Find a spot from within yourself. And I'm not telling nothing new, because you heard all about this. There's so many other videos, there's so many other teachers already explained all this and what have you. And the best way to do that is through various forms of meditation, whatever meditation suits you. Meditation is not only about sitting down and, sort of repeating mantras and correct breathing and what have you. There are so many meditations to suit everyone. You can meditate by walking, but you have to walk in such a way that you breathe and you actually move together with your breath. And in so doing, you're relaxing and you're slowly sinking inside yourself. So there's no real need for you to be sat down or laying down or what have you. Do whatever you want to do. Be open. Be experimental about it. But do something about it, because when you do something about yourself, something that will open you up, something that will make you feel good about yourself, regardless of whether it is acceptable by others or not, that's totally academic. What is important is that you feel right with whatever you're doing. I mean, whatever you're doing, do it whichever way you can to start calming yourself down. The main reason why we're having so many problems nowadays, and I would just spell two of them, which are of epidemic proportions. One is the mental health, and the second one is cancers. Now both have exponential number of variations from within. So you have I don't know how many types of, over 200 odd types of recognized cancers. Where those that are not recognized, I don't know. It's difficult to say how many types and variations of stresses, anxieties and depressions there are. Because every one of them is unique to the person there is. And the main reason why people tend to go into those particular waters is because they are not aligned from within. They're overly externalized and they perceive the outside reality as beat of it all, without realizing that the true reality is right from within yourself. More importantly, when you start going in and when you start really experiencing your own beauty, it is at that point that you really see that there is nothing else apart from the beauty and the centeredness of yourself. And like I said earlier on, everything is illusion. Total illusion. So the only way forward is to start centering and reaching back to yourself, understanding really who you are. You're not who you think you are. Because if I ask you who you are, I'm sure the answer is going to be, my name is John, Mary, or whatever it is. But is it really you? I would say not. Because you identify John and Mary with the body, but you're not the body. You're far greater than the body. And I'm sure you all know about that. And this is precisely what I'm talking about. However, in what I'm doing as well is importance of understanding who you are is linked to your vessel, which is your body. And they work together as a real close partners for all of us, all our souls, all souls that actually live in the world right now, to experience this particular reality. Because our bodies are temples with which, or the vehicles with which we experience the beauty of this reality. And if we do not look after our vehicles in the best possible way, unfortunately, we're not going to experience this reality in the best possible way either. So, the complexity of life as it is all based upon understanding that ultimately you're not who you think you are, but at the same time, you need to be aware of your origins, that you are spirit. Yes, that's very much important. But at the same time, you have responsibility to your body. And what it means, the responsibility for your body, is to understand how your body functions, what are its basic needs, and how your body actually correlates to give you those experiences that you want to feel in your etheric self. Meaning, your spirit can only fulfill its objective being here by having a good collaboration with your body. And that comes from you, from your mind, if you wish, which is your software, that actually makes you makes those decisions, whatever they are, that are creating your experiences. So here you have this dichotomy of, you have a suit, which is your body. Then you have your mind, which controls everything, which is your software, which is your DNA, which is controls all your subconscious mind, which is in connection with your spirit, with who you are. But the spirit has one thing, your mind has been conditioned in another thing, and your body responds to how your conditioning relates to who you are. And if your conditioning, which is when you were brought up through a schooling system, what have you, doesn't really equate to who you are going to have a problem. And the problem is going to be expressed in your body. Does that make sense? The body is the recipient of everything. It records everything, but at the same token, it communicates back to your mind and you, spirit, your consciousness, that it's not happy. When it happens, there is a strain, and that strain is expressed as stress in the first stages. After that, it moves on. If you still don't listen to the body, it then goes on to the next stage, which is anxiety, right? And anxiety, in a very simple words, means you are ignoring all the bells and reminders that are not happy, that you're pushing me beyond what I can take, until it gets to neurosis and depression. And those are the deeper level of disconnection from where we first started, which is understanding the point of consciousness. And the consciousness is everything. In all this loop is everything. But that consciousness doesn't flow, because consciousness is the flow. It's energy that flows around and replenishes itself. And through the circulation, it actually energizes and it creates more energy and more energy and more energy. And with that, with the creation of more energy, it creates more knowledge, it creates more beauty, creates more affection, love, understanding, compassion, and everything you want to experience. But if for some reason there are distorted paths along that process, and that paths get further distorted, means they get further apart from one another, they are going to lead to what I just said, meaning stress is a very small distortion, then leading on to the anxiety, which is wider, and then depression, which is really, really wide, depending on what stage you are in that particular field. So it is important, going back to when I first started, is to reverse engineer everything, particularly if you're feeling stressed and what have you, is to understand the root causes of that. But you cannot understand the root cause of the stress because you're stressed. You're overly externalized. So for you to be able to see what's going on when you're stressed, you need to go backwards to the square one, to the point of zero, or the neutral point from which you can observe that which is stressing you out. But if you are sitting from the point where you're observing from when you're stressed, you will never see that. So you always have to remove yourself and go back to the point zero. So in my next videos, I'm going to talk more about that one. And also I'm going to talk later on, I'm going to interview one of my good friends who had a difficulty in his young adulthood, and he's going to share some sort of insights and how he has gone through his anxieties and how he's coped with them and what he has done to basically heal himself and find the beauty from within himself. So stay tuned, guys, and we will be back in our next video. So I hope you're all well. Have a great day. Have whatever you're doing, enjoy it, and speak to you next time. Bye.